Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're going to be talking about ETHW, or the Proof of Work Ethereum blockchain, which is essentially a copy of everything on Ethereum airdropped over to your same account, but just on the other blockchain. And we're going to go through how to know if you actually got that airdrop, how to claim it, and furthermore, how to actually sell it and get your money's worth out of that. I mean, you can obviously keep it, HODL, do whatever you want to do. But if you're really just trying to get that free money out right away and just capitalize on what is there, you think it might go down or whatever, we're going to go through all that very quickly and easily today. It's not as hard as it sounds. It sounds a little more complicated than it is, but it's not too bad. And not only is your ETH being copied over, by the way, it's your NFTs, your tokens, even your open bids and contracts and things that you've got. Like if you're bidding on something or you've got something on OpenSea or whatever it happens to be, all of that is copied over exactly as of the snapshot from September 15th. But we're going to get into all of that and how you can get your ETHW today after a quick word from my sponsor.
A big thank you and shout out to my sponsor Cake Wallet, which is an open source, non-custodial Bitcoin and Monero wallet that also has a built-in exchange. It's available on iOS and Android.
Okay, thanks again to my sponsor. So let's jump into it. First, I will share my screen here and show you what I'm talking about. So this is my normal MetaMask wallet. I've got my 0.15 ETH. At the time of the snapshot, it was like 0.125 or something like that. And when I go here and I switch to the ETHW mainnet, you can see I had, it was 0.1296. And I already sent that over and sold that on Bybit to make sure everything was working correctly. This is just one piece of the puzzle though, because I don't like keeping all of my Ethereum on MetaMask. I keep the majority of it on a hardware wallet, which you can also connect to MetaMask or any other Web3 wallet that has custom RPCs or the ability to add networks. And then you can connect that to your wallet. And then beyond that, you can act as if you were that wallet through MetaMask and do the exact same thing. So you can still do everything essentially with MetaMask or, again, any other Web3 wallet that has the ability to add custom networks or RPC networks. And then you're good to go. And again, it sounds much more complicated when I talk about it like this. But when you get into it, it's very, very straightforward and just like adding the network and stuff. And this will pop up and then you can just send it and do everything like you normally would. If you know how to generally use a wallet, MetaMask, ERC20 tokens, stuff like that, this will be no problem for you. If you're more so just used to using exchanges, this might be a little bit more technical, but let's get into it. So this is ETH Proof of Work. I'll show the actual overview here. It's at almost $11 currently. And switching back to the markets, I just wanted to give an idea of just how many exchanges are actually already accepting this and all these trading pairs. There's about 49 trading pairs across all these exchanges. And there's pretty significant adoption already, which is really interesting and really cool to see, because that means you are probably going to get more money than you would have otherwise. Only when the actual merge went through did it lose the majority of its value. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So at that point, I would say you probably should just sell all of it as soon as possible. But around the time of the merge, it was pretty much what it is now. But then it went down to like $5 pretty quickly. But now it's back up to almost $11. So, you can take what you can get. Obviously, you would have been much better off if it was still in the hundreds, but this really does not look like a successful blockchain in my mind. I sold all of mine because I'm not really that confident in it. I like the idea of still being able to have proof of work and, for the miners and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, there's nothing really being, like, people aren't going to start building everything on here. And this doesn't solve any of the problems that we're solving with proof of stake. Obviously, this is probably less centralized, but people really just care about like gas fees and stuff like that for the most part. I mean, if you really cared about privacy and decentralization, you might not even be using ETH to begin with. So I digress. That's what the overview of that looks like. Now, let's actually jump into actually claiming it. Because again, all you need is some sort of amount of ETH held in a wallet that you control. The worst thing you can do is have your Ethereum on an exchange or a lending service. I'm not sure how you would get that, or even if you could ever get that. That's another classic example of why you don't leave crypto on exchanges, because you can miss out on airdrops because they don't want the exchanges to get everyone's money, right? So naturally they have to exclude those. So your best bet is to not leave your crypto on exchanges. This is the FAQ, which kind of goes through a lot of the frequent asked questions that people have been asking about the ETHW token, or blockchain rather, and all the different things about it, because it's actually not a token. So the first one is what's the contract address? It's not a contract address because it doesn't exist on ETH. So it's not like adding a token. You're adding a full extra network, and then you have to switch networks. So again, any wallet that supports custom RPC, the ability to add networks like MetaMask and these other wallets, they also show you how to actually claim this. If you don't want to use my tutorial, you can use theirs, but I'm doing the actual video walkthrough. So again, everything is the same as ETH. It's just copied over. The supply is the same. You don't know if certain exchanges are going to support it or not. But the one thing I'll say is, if more and more exchanges do adopt it, that should boost up the price. Should. So you could hold on to it with that in mind, where you're waiting for that to happen. But personally, I just didn't want to risk it, and I wanted to just make sure I got whatever money I could get out of ETHPOW, because to me it's really just like extra free money. So why not? All right, getting into actually getting this started. Again, you can follow along with their tutorial here. It's fairly straightforward, but I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do in this video. So when I bring up my normal Ethereum, and first, my normal MetaMask, first I'll cover just normal MetaMask, and then I'll cover actually connecting to a ledger or a hardware wallet if that's where you have your crypto stored. So the first thing we need to do is add a new network. Whether you're doing it like on the actual browser or in the extension or whatever, all you have to do is go to the very top where it says Ethereum mainnet, and you click on that, and you're going to hit add network. It's going to give you this custom field to fill out. In the description here, I've listed all of the information that you need, which is also listed here. You just need to copy this over into each of the fields as such, and then you'll hit save. I'm not sure if it automatically switches, but if it doesn't automatically switch, either way, you can just go here and switch between them, or you can click here. So once you switch to ETHW mainnet, now you are on the new mainnet for ETHW. Originally, I had the exact amount copied over as I had on my other my actual Ethereum mainnet. So I had about 1296 ETH at the time, about 12 days ago. And then that snapshotted, and it gave me that exact amount, which I then sent to Bybit. And we're going to get into that in a moment. So again, that's how you would get your ETHW. You don't actually have to do anything to claim it. It's just already there, giving you add that network. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and you can send this, as I did here, to Bybit. And then you can just send the max amount, and then, get your gas in there and send away. Make sure you have enough to include your gas, but it's very, very, very small gas fees, just because so little network activity. If it were to eventually get to the same size as actual Ethereum, it would be equally as congested, hence moving over to proof of stake and doing all the scalability things that we're going to get very soon. So that's what that looks like. You just do the exact same thing, confirm. It acts like just the same as any other Ethereum transaction, and then it'll send over. For Bybit, once you get signed up and everything, and I'll leave my link if you want to sign up using my link. I prefer Bybit. There's a ton that you can use here. Obviously, you can use any of the exchanges that you use already, or you want to sign up for, or whatever. But Bybit is a really good one because it has no KYC. So A, more privacy, and B, you could get started right away if you wanted to just download this and do this right off the bat. So that's very, very convenient. Now, you would navigate to deposit, and then you go ETHW. You acknowledge that it'll be funded into your spot account. And you may have to ensure that you have two-factor authentication enabled to do this. I'm not quite sure, but usually I think that's the case to actually withdraw anyways, not to deposit. And after 50 block confirmations, which took me about 10-15 minutes, you'll see it pop up, and then you can trade it and start doing stuff. But you need 5,000 block confirmations to actually be able to withdraw it. And that's not really like a restriction of ETHW. That's kind of the same for most things, just to ensure there's nothing sketchy going on. So that's not really an issue. So you might just have to wait like a couple hours or something before you can actually withdraw the money, but you can put it in and trade it and sell it right away if you're just trying to get rid of it. So no issues there. So you copy this, you go back to your MetaMask. This is the address you'll send your ETHW to. And, if you're scared of there being a problem, you could always just send a small amount first, make sure there's no issues, and then send the rest, which is sometimes what I like to do because crypto is, very finicky, and, you can have technical problems and stuff. So I'm always still very skeptical, and I'll usually send a tiny transaction first, and then I'll send the rest just because I'm still making transactions 5 years later. It's still so it's a little stressful, but it is what it is. All right. So once you've sent it over to Bybit, you can exchange it, you can do all that good stuff. And then when you want to withdraw your money, you can go ahead and do that. You could just withdraw this directly or in whatever other cryptocurrency. And then withdraw, say you're doing USDT, and then you add your address and then take that out. This is where you'd be asked probably for your two-factor authentication, confirmation email, all that jazz. But same as any other exchange. Very, very straightforward, very easy to do. Great process. I was able to get my 31 ETHW, got about $430 for it. No complaints here. It's basically just free money, right? So that's pretty straightforward. It's very simple, very easy to do. What's a little bit extra work is doing this with a hardware wallet, which is where the majority of my ETH was. Because as you can see, I only had a tiny, tiny amount here, maybe worth a couple bucks. Now, when you're adding a hardware wallet, you want to use a different wallet than the wallet that you're using already. So I would just recommend that you go and create a new account. Once you do all of that, you'll be able to go here again where you see all of your options, and you would connect a hardware wallet. You see the same thing here in the extension version. You got to click this. So not the 3-dot drop down, but clicking on your profile here and then connect hardware wallet. Once you do this, you've got these 3 major wallets supported, and then any other QR based wallet that can connect, you can connect that way as well. So this could also be maybe Trust Wallet could connect to this, but I'm pretty sure it's just hardware wallets. Either way though, if you have one of the major hardware wallets, this shouldn't be an issue. I use Ledger, and then you go continue. Obviously, you have to have your Ledger connected. I'm not going to go through all that because there's really no reason for me to redo it since I've already done it. But it's really straightforward. All you have to do is plug in your Ledger or whatever device you're using. You'd get a screen that would pop up and say, make sure you unlock your device and go onto Ethereum. And, I've got my Ledger application here opened up as well, right? And so you'd be prompted with this, and it'll show your connected Ledger device or whichever device. Click on that, you hit connect, you type in your code, and that's pretty much it. It'll ask you which account you want to connect, and it'll show the amount of Ethereum in the account. So assuming you've got multiple accounts or whatever, just click the one that shows the Ethereum. You'll connect that. And then when you come back here to the main wallet area, you will see the amount of, well, like say you're on the main account, you'll see your amount of Ethereum that's in your ledger. And then when you switch over to ETHW, you will see the equivalent ETHW amount. And then the only other thing you have to do is when you actually go to send it, you have to confirm the transaction on your hardware wallet. So again, very, very straightforward, very easy to do. I had no problems with this. I was able to just really quickly and easily do this. Let me just bring up my other wallet that I actually did this on, just so that you guys know that it is a real thing. So you can see here, this is connected to my ledger, and I had my 30.8696 Ethereum, and I was able to get that and then just send it over to Bybit as well. So again, very, very straightforward, very easy to do. You still need, confirmation from your actual hardware wallet and everything. You still have to approve all that. So, you don't have to really be too concerned about like, oh no, like what if connecting it to MetaMask causes problems in the future or whatever. That's not really an issue. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Another useful thing, if you're curious, is you can go to the 3-dot drop-down menu and you can actually view your account like Etherscan, but for ETHW. So, you can see all the information that you've got here. You can look at your different tokens and everything. Something that's pretty cool actually is you can see in your token balance all of your tokens that have copied over, your NFTs, contracts and stuff like on OpenSea here. So very, very useful. A lot of services being built out for Ethereum proof of work. And I think it's only going to continue to get better, but I just don't expect a lot of like services and projects to actually be like building a lot on ETHW. So I'm not that confident in the future of it and where it's actually going. But if you've got a handful of ETH, there's some free Ethereum here for you. And it's not even as like, it's not so time sensitive as like an airdrop, for example, because it's just already in your account. You just need to add the network to actually see that it's there, but it is already there. So unlike, certain airdrops that have expiration dates, there shouldn't really be an issue with that. What's more important is that you make sure to get the value out while you still can. I mean, if ETH POW is still going down, like it is, then you probably want to get your money out sooner than later. I mean, none of this is financial advice because for all we know, this could skyrocket or whatever when more exchanges start accepting it, all that good stuff. But, who knows? So you guys tell me, was this helpful for you? Do you have ETH that you can now claim as ETHW? Are you bullish on ETHW? Do you actually want to hold it and see where things go for it? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments below, and make sure to comment hashtag #1ham in the comments below, and that way I know that you watched the whole video from start to end, which I greatly do appreciate, and I'm more likely to answer your comments if I do see that. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.